channel. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this dress. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have this fabric on a fold already, and so we're going to start with marking a basic bodice, right? So this is the back panel, this is the front panel, both of them are on a fold. You see, this is folded, this is also folded, right? So you're going to go ahead and just draw out a basic bodice, and then the back has extra 1 inch, but the front width is just the bust measurement divided by 4 plus extra 1 inch. My bust is my bust is 42, divided by 4 is 10.5, plus extra 1 inch is 11.5, which is the width of this fabric. And then the one at the back is the same measurement but extra like 1.5 for the zipper. And then the other length is your half length, which is your shoulder to your waist. For me, that's 18. I added extra 1 inch to it for the half an inch of joining the shoulder and half an inch of joining the bottom to the dress, right? So let's go ahead and insert most of the measurements. So the next thing is our shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 8 inches. I'm going to come in here and mark 1 inch down the shoulder, and then I'm going to insert the armhole measurement divided by 2, which is down here, and then I'm going to connect it. Just mark your basic bodice, guys. And you're going to mark 3 inches of neckline, 3 inches of depth. For the back, I just did 1 inch of back neckline. I'm going to connect the shoulder slope to this point now, and like from here to here. And then down here, I'm just going to mark my waist measurement divided by 4, which for me is 8.5. And then I'm going to insert 2 inches to it, 1 inch of that in and 1 inch of my seam allowance. So I'm going to connect it together. So guys, this is just your basic bodice. I'm going to go ahead and cut everything out. So guys, now that I've cut out everything, all I have to do is just to go ahead and mark the point where I'm going to insert my dart, which is your nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus like half an inch. Mark it here, and then you're going to go from the shoulder to to your bust point for me, which is 12, but I'm going to come down 1 inch after that. So that is where my dart is going to be. Connect it down here, half an inch on both sides. So this is going to be my dart for the 2 piece of the front, and then the back dart is going to come up to the chest line. So my back dart is going to go up to here, but still at the same point, but the one in front is here. So another thing I like to do so that my zip relax better is for the back, I like to go up by 1 inch here, and then blend it using a ruler into the edge of this line. So just blend it this way all the way to the edge. It will be better to use your ruler. This will help my zip to relax, because remember, your back is shorter than your front, right? So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out now, and then we'll move over to the skirt. So guys, this is the point where you have to pay attention the most, because this is actually a request, but I think it's the skirt part that is confusing to the person. So the bottom part of this skirt, guys, all you have to do is to go ahead and so this here is just my hip measurement, right? This is the skirt part, and the length I'm using here, I want my ruffle to be about 5 inches or so for my ruffle, because I want the dress to be about 38 inches. 39. So my half length, which is my shoulder to waist, is already 18. If I subtract it from the total length of my dress, so I want my dress to be 39, I subtract 18, which is my half length, my shoulder to waist, from it, I'll be left with 21, right? So this 21 inches now, I want the body of my skirt to be about, let's say I want the body of my dress to be about 17, right? So this will leave me with ruffle of 4 inches, so that I'll get this 21, right? So I want the body of the dress, the skirt alone, to be 17. That's why I made it 18, because I need half an inch to join the top of my skirt to the bodice, and then half an inch to join the end to the ruffle part. So in total, the bottom of my skirt is supposed to be 21, but 17 is going to be the main body, and 4 inches is going to be the ruffle that will come at the frill that will come at the body of the skirt, right? So now that I've told you guys all the calculations you need, the width, this is for the length. Now the width, how we are going to start to cut with the back panel, because we don't want to trace it on a paper. So to cut it on the back panel, all you have to put into consideration is to fold your fabric into 2. This fabric is already folded into 2. The first thing I need here is my hip divided by 4, which is 12, plus extra 1 inch is 13. But you see, I folded already. Before I start to insert this measurement, I also made sure that I folded about 1.5 inch away, because this is going to be for the zip. If I open it up now, in total what I'm going to have, this fold that I made here, which was supposed to be my zipper, But if I open it up, you know that what I have here is just my hip measurement divided by 4, which is 12, right? My hip is 48, divided by 4 is 12, plus my 1 inch of side seam allowance, and then the 1.5 for the zipper at the back. But it's always better to fold it away, that way it will not be confusing to you. So it will look as if you're cutting a front panel, but you know that it's the back panel that you're cutting, because this is what you're going to use to trace the front, because you can't use the front to start tracing it because the front will have that overlapping thing in front. So it's better to start with the back. So now for the front, I will now bring out what I'm using for the front. Remember what I told you guys, this has an extension which is going to be the zipper, right? And then the one in front has another extension here. Both of them has an extension. This one has 1.5 extension, like folded away, but this one has about 3 inches or 4 inches extension, which is going to be for the you know, when you're making a wrap, something that looks like a wrap, you also always have something that will extend towards the other side, right? You always make it longer so that this one will overlap the other one, like one is coming in, one is going over it. So this one here is what will serve as that extension. So what I have here is just the distance of your nipple to nipple, which is like 4 inches or so. So now all you have to do is just to go ahead and insert your basic skirt measurements. So you're going to put all your measurements starting from the edge of your front panel, the front here. We're not going to unravel this bottom part, this zipper part, until when we are done. So first we'll start with our waist divided by 4, which is 34 divided by 4 is 8.5, plus 2 inches again because of the darting and the side seam. And then you're going to mark from your waist to your hip. For me, that's about 10 inches down. Mark that here, and then there I'm going to insert my hip measurement divided by 4, which is 12, plus my 1 inch of sewing, which is here, and then I'm going to connect it all the way to the measurement at the top. And then down here I can go ahead and take away 1 inch from here. So it's supposed to be 13 inches here. That's my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1, but I'm just going to take away 1 inch here so that it will narrow the edge a little bit, right? Bring it in just like how you make a pencil skirt, and then take it back this way. So that's basically all I have to mark here. And then I'm going to insert my nipple to nipple measurement plus half an inch. Just mark it here so that you know that this is where your dart is supposed to be. And like we always do, the dart here is going to stop 2 inches before my hip line. My hip line is here, so 2 inches before that. So my dart is going to be 8 inches length. So I've notched the 4 layers of this skirt, so I'm going to be transferring this dart all over to the back, like the 2 sides of the front because of the fold, the 2 sides of the back because of the fold. So all I have to do now is just to go ahead and cut off the excess on the side. So cut this and all the way down here. So guys, another thing I like to do now that I've cut it out, notched here, is just to go ahead on this front panel and notch the beginning of my skirt, right? Sorry, notch the center line, so that I'll notch it at the top, notch it at the bottom, so that I know that this is the actual length of one side, width of one side of my skirt before the part that extends into this part, right? You can even use your chalk to just mark it and know where that line is. It's supposed to be the same straight line of after your, because remember this is your seam allowance for zip. So I just want to know where the center of my skirt is basically what I'm saying. So you can go ahead and notch it at the top and notch it at the bottom. This will help you so that when you're cutting into your skirt, you know where to stop and where to start. So I'm also going to go ahead and split open this front panel, split it open, and then I'm also going to go ahead and split open the back, and then go ahead and start joining it together. So basically I have 2 back panels now. One, the front one, I'm not going to cut off the side now. You see why I made this chalk mark here, this chalk mark that I made here, so that I know that this is the center, and this one here is going to, the chalk on this side and the chalk on this one, they are going to meet each other. And I know that this is just the center line of my skirt. This is the center of my skirt. And then there's a dart here, and then there's a dart here. You see, there's one dart here, and then one dart here, and this is my center. So you see, that's how I'm going to know that this is the point of my skirt. So now what I'm going to do is just to go ahead, but remember we are still going to cut something that looks like this all the way this way, and then cut another one that looks like this going all the way this way. But I don't want to cut down those things now until I join the back panel to the front, and then I'll bring it back so you guys will see. So guys, this is my back panel. As you can see, I've gone ahead and joined the center, and this top part here is just for my zip. So I left this part open so that when I put in the back panel, it will be like a continuous stitch. So, and then this is the side. So now for the front, you see this is my front here. I just placed it on top of each other, right? I place it on top of each other. If you want, you can go ahead and join the sides together, but I just want to have the, you see this side has the dart, this one has the dart also, and then I just placed it on each other, the wrong side facing each other, right? And make sure to have this straight part at the center, this straight part that is supposed to overlap. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just to take my, so I'm going to start from this part here and just start to give it a curve. Remember, you still need 1 inch on this side as your seam allowance here, right, for the side. So try to avoid that part and then start after that line and give it like a dotted line until you get to this very top here, and then just continue that way until you get to the tip of this point here. And then you're going to cut off this excess here. So this side is going to be cut off because we'll still be attaching our ruffle here. So guys, now I've cut this out. So you see, I've cut this part out. So if I place this on top of each other now, remember like the chalk that we made here? So this chalk is the center to help us know where the center is, and then this other chalk on this one is the center. So you see, this is how far it will overlap. Guys, if you want, you can push yours even more. Like you can do like extra 5 inches for yours, but I just wanted it to stop on where the dart is, because remember, I still have this excess here that I cut, all these fabrics that I cut here, which is going to be that ruffle that will give me that ruche all over to the end, right? Remember, I still have 4 inches that will be extended towards this side all the way to the end, even on the one beneath it. So that's why I didn't want to do so much. So now I'm going to take this here, take the side. You see the side is the part with the curve, and then I'm going to join it like this and sew it down. So take it here, sew this down this way to the curve on this side. Take this one also, this one the way it is now. Place this here. You see the curve? I'm going to take it and then sew it down this way. And once I've done that, I'm now going to take my ruffle and make a ruche with it and start to gather it all over the edges of this skirt. So guys, you see now I've joined the ruffle all the way around, but the one that will stay underneath, you see, I stopped 5 inches before I got to the waist, because you know, if you make the ruffle go all the way to the top like you did on this side, and this one is going underneath, it will be rough on the inside. So you don't want, like this crunchy thing here will be making it puffy, so you want to skip some part of it before you get to the waist, right? But if you want this edge here, you can just use bias or just fold the fabric on itself and just fold it away just for a clean finish. So now what I'm going to do, remember that chalk that we marked to note the center of the skirt, which is here? I'm going to make sure I take the other side, which has the same chalk here, the blue chalk. I hope you guys can see it. And then I'm going to make sure the two parts of it are together. You see this one here, this one here, so that I know that this is the center of my skirt. Put it together and just sew it down, right? Just sew this down like at the edge with 1/4 of an inch, just to hold it, so that I can just couple up my, sew it down, even this part here, sew it down. This is going to be sewn into the bodice. So I'm just going to go ahead and couple the top of my cloth together, my bodice. So guys, once I join this part together and sew it down, I'm sure that this is now held together like one piece, right? Once you sew it down, make sure you have the center and sew it. It will now be one piece like this. It's not going to open up like a wrap skirt anymore because it's sewn down. Then you will take the front of the skirt, the front bodice, right? Go ahead, pick your dart. Once you pick the dart, and then you're going to take it and join it to the bodice. So this part here, all of them are going to be tucked in into this stitch. So you're going to place it this way and sew it down like this, using 1/2 inch then to hold it down. Remember when I said you should sew this down, just so it doesn't move or confuse you when you go to sew it together, is with 1/4 of an inch. But normally it's 1/2 inch that you will now use to join the body to the clothes. So guys, I'm going to just take this back panel now, pick my dart on these two sides, take the back, the top panel, take this one, place it here on this side, also put in the dart, and then this one on the other side like this, right? This one on the other side like this with the dart attached, and then I'm going to join it to this bodice. It's going to look something like this. I'm going to join it. Guys, for the sleeve, it depends on you, but this sleeve here is just an exaggerated puffy sleeve, which I have on my channel. If you want, I can link it to you so that you guys can see, but I think I'm just going to give mine a basic sleeve, right? A basic sleeve. But to cut an exaggerated puffy sleeve, it doesn't take much. All you have to do is just to take your fabric. You're going to just take the fabric you're working with. Mine is folded into 2 already. I'm going to just fold it into 4, but this will not give me an exaggerated puffy sleeve. It can only give me a puffy sleeve. But if you want that width, you make sure that the fabric you're folding will be long enough. This here, I'm making it with just almost 2.5 yards because the fabric is not a lot. And then you're going to just go ahead and start to draw in your... So guys, if it was an exaggerated puffy sleeve that I was making, I'll make sure that plus my armhole divided by 2, right? I'm supposed to have like extra 5 inches here. Like this is supposed to be extended by, let's say, even 5 inches or more. Like this fabric, the fold here is supposed to move even further down to this part, right? And then you just go in ahead like this and just come down here by, let's say, 3 inches first. This part is going to be the puffiness on the top. This extension of 5 inches is going to be the puffiness by the back. And then this here is just your basic sleeve that you're drawing in here. You come down here, mark your 4 inches of basic sleeve, right? Come down here, mark it, and then connect these lines together this way. Find halfway through that line, which for me is 5.5. Mark it this way, and then a curve below and then a curve above. But instead, this curve above is going to go up to the top. And then this is going to, so my sleeve now, if I go to cut it and it's an exaggerated sleeve, I'll cut from this line below this up to the top, cut even up to this side, cut down to this part. This part will not be cut because it's already on a fold, right? Remember, your folded fabric is going to extend to this part. Like this fold here is supposed to reach here. That's what I'm trying to say. Your fabric is supposed to be extended by, let's say, 5 inches or more, because you're trying to get an exaggerated sleeve. So all you're cutting is from here to the top, and then this is the line at the top, right? You stop, and then you're just going to cut off this part, and then you have your sleeve. This other part here is still going to remain the same, and this here is just a fold. Here is supposed to be like a fold here. So now that's how you cut an exaggerated puffy sleeve. And then all you have to do is just to gather all those parts at the top, gather it, and then fix it around the opening of your sleeve. But for this one here, I'm just going to use a basic sleeve because I'm just going to figure out the sleeve that will work best for me, because this is all I have left from the fabric. So I'm just going to figure out a sleeve that will work and just use it like that. So guys, I decided to use a cap sleeve for mine. Like I said, this video was really about the bottom part here. And guys, I think when you go to cut yours, maybe extend yours a little bit. Like instead of doing the 4 inches I did, you might want to do maybe extra 5 inches, so that this will move a little bit over, and then the one inside will move a little bit inwards too, because mine, I think mine is too exposed. Like it's too short, a little too short for my liking, and too exposed too. So if you don't want yours that way, and I think probably because of how I cut mine, too slants this way. So what I would change is just to move yours a little bit. You know that part where I said the front is extended by like 4 inches, extend yours maybe by 5 inches so it can move a little. Because if you look at the thumbnail, her curve, this part of the flay is almost as if it's getting to the edge of her clothes, so it covers enough. And so that means the one underneath covers enough too, at least for the uppermost part, so that when you're wearing it, your underwear will not be showing. You understand? So that's basically it for the front here. See what the back side looks like here. So you basically go ahead and insert your zip. It's a very nice style, but I think I should have not cut mine like a little too deep, and I should have extended it. So that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for your time. Please guys, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in my next one. Comment, like, and share. Bye.